Hey everyone, Rachel West and Rick Stroud back with you. And Rick, the day is here. The time has finally come. The Bucs are back in the playoffs and they got their first game today for the first time in what feels like forever. We'll start though. Last week they got maybe some bad news with Mike Evans going down with the knee injury. Weren't sure what his status was going to be. Now a week later, going into the game tonight, what is his status?
Well, I mean, he's still a game time decision, right? But I'm pretty sure he's going to play. He was able to run on that hyperextended left knee, and that looked very scary, of course, when he did it in the final game. But, Mike Evans has waited 7 years for this. And as Bruce Arians said earlier, you wouldn't want to be the guy to tell him he couldn't play. And he's been in this situation, I think, with his bad or worse injuries to start the season at New Orleans and against Chicago. The question is, how effective will he be, right? Can he cut on that knee? Is he merely going to be a decoy? I think their defense will figure that out pretty quick. The good news is you've got two other Pro Bowl receivers and Chris Godwin. Antonio Brown has really come on of late. We know Gronkowski plays big this time of year. And, so all those targets out there and the depth at that position, as well as Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson, really helps them out in this situation. But make no mistake, they hope that Mike Evans can play, and I think he has every intention to.
Yeah, something tells me he's not going to let this opportunity go to waste and he's going to be out there tonight. A lot of the talk this week has been about Washington's defensive line. So what kind of challenge are Brady and the rest of the Bucs offense in for going up against them?
Well, they're really good. And I mean, I know Chase Young called out Tom Brady and says, I want Tom Brady, and he's going to get him. That might fire up the offensive line a little bit. I talked to Ron Rivera, and he says, that's who Chase Young is. He just loves ball. He did this with Ben Roethlisberger before a game, went up and actually shook his hand. He just was excited to play against the greatest of all time. But they're really, really good up front. It's not just Chase Young. It's also Montez Sweat. They've got 5, if you count Ryan Kerrigan, the old vet, #1 draft picks, first-round draft picks coming at Tom Brady. They're better on the ends than inside, but the Bucs are going to have to counter that some way, whether it's running the football, throwing it quick, and make sure that Brady stays clean. And that's really the strength of that defense is their pass rush. So this is going to be a game, where the Bucs are going to have to really have their offensive line win the battle up front and protect them.
Absolutely. The Chase Young Brady storyline will definitely be an interesting one to watch develop, especially because there's the whole Ohio State-Michigan backstory there as well. But now switching to the Bucs defense, last week they were out a couple key guys due to COVID. They're getting Shaq Barrett back this week, but they're still missing Devin White. So what is the impact there?
Well, I think Devin White's, one of their best players on defense. I mean, he should have made the Pro Bowl. He didn't, but he's a guy that has 140 tackles and 9 sacks. You just don't see that kind of playmaking ability throughout the lineup. It means somebody's going to have to fill in. That somebody is Kevin Minter, not a splashy player, but a solid veteran that can come in there and do a good job. They're going to have to cover the running backs out of the backfield, and I think it means that they're going to have to find a way to get home with their pass rushing forward with Shaq Barrett, with Jason Pierre-Paul and Ndamukong Suh. Those guys will know where Alex Smith is if he quarterbacks. He's a guy that's not very mobile at this stage of his career with his remarkable comeback from that leg injury. So it's going to be on the front four to put pressure on those guys. And Kevin Minter is going to have to hold up as he did in the game against the Atlanta Falcons and hope that they don't ball control and drive the ball on him. But they're going to miss Devin White, and he's pleading with his teammates to win this game so that he can be part of that playoff next week.
Yeah, hopefully they do get to live to see another week and Devin can get back out there. Thanks for the time tonight, Rick. We'll check back with you post-game. Hopefully after a win, we'll see how it goes. But during the game, guys, make sure you're following along with him on Twitter for updates, as well as Sports by Tampa Bay Times on Twitter. And as always, be sure you're checking out tampabay.com for your full Bucs coverage.